everybody, this is Ken. We're in my garage. We are working on the 46. And actually I want to do kind of just a brief educational thing, if you will, about wheels and tires. I'm trying to fit some different wheels on this, so I've been doing Marketplace and Craigslist and those kind of things. And I'm looking for a bigger rim. These are 16s. They fit, they clear my calipers barely, but I want to set wheels further back in, so I need them with a more positive offset or more back spacing, right? And the reason I need to get a bigger rim instead of 16, like I need probably a 20. I'd rather do 18s because 20s look funky, but a 20 will clear down here. Let me get a little more light on the subject. All right. Down here, I don't know if you can see it at the moment, but there's some steering linkage. And if this wheel was to go any further back, the 16-inch wheel, it would hit that steering linkage. So I need a wider wheel so it goes in front of the steering linkage. All right. Now, when I do Marketplace in those places, I ask the people, what is the back spacing? And they ask me, what is that? Or they give me some number like 10 inches. It's not 10 inches. Really, it's not. Back spacing is measured in inches. Offset is usually measured in millimeters. But they're different numbers and they mean different things. So if I have an offset, this wheel has a negative offset, which means that the wheel is sticking out further. If I had a positive offset, the wheel would be sitting in further, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a positive offset. Positive offset means the inner hub moves out, so the tire moves back. And negative, the inner hub moves in, tire moves out. And that's pretty simple, but when it's measured in millimeters and you don't tell me how wide your rim is, then I'm kind of lost, because offset is based on your rim diameter. So, I know these are 16 by 10 inch rims, and I'll show you how we measure the back spacing and even the offset here. So let me pull these off and roll them in front here. All right. This is the mounting surface that we're going to measure off of to get our back spacing. And the back spacing is the distance from this surface to the inside of the rim, the inside rim to the inside of it. Now we know that rims are 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch thick. And so I'm going to take that measurement, 1/4 inch to 3/8, it doesn't matter, off of my final measurement. But how do I measure it? I use a straight edge. And I set it right across the rim. So now I have a flat surface here to measure, and I use my tape measure. Let me turn it a little sideways, maybe you can see it better. All right, see if I can get this done without my hands being in the way too much. Set that across my rim. Take my tape measure, put it right there, and then I look at where the tape measure and the straight edge meet. And right now it says 4 3/8. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try rotating even more. There we go. All right, so if I take off the 3/8 that I know that the rim thickness is, that's 4 inches. So my back spacing from here to the inside of this lip is 4 inches. So if I ask what is the back spacing, that's the measurement. Or if somebody else asks you, or if you want to know. Now the offset is where this mounting surface is in relation to the center of the rim. Now we know that the center of the rim is 10 inches. It says right on the rim it's 10 inches, 16 by 10. So if this is 4 inches from here to this side, we know that it's 1 inch offset, right? 1 inch negative. This is 1 inch this way compared to the center of this rim. Now that's measured in millimeters, right? So my tape measure doesn't have millimeters, so I'm just using inches. But this is a 1 inch negative offset. But I have to know my rim diameter in order to know how far that actually is. So if you just measure backspacing, I don't care how wide your rim is. Backspacing tells me how far this hub surface is from this rim surface. And that tells me how far this wheel is going to set inside the truck. And that's the measurement we're looking for. If we set it too far in, the tire is going to hit when we turn. If we set it too far out, it's going to look goofy, kind of like it does now. So I want to move it in. I want to move it in a full inch. So that would be, if I had these wheels, which are 10 inch, that would put the center of the hub right in the center of the rim. It would be a 5 inch backspace, or an inch, well, that's a 0 offset. So 0 offset, 5 inch backspace for a 10 inch wide rim would be perfect. And that's what I'm looking for. So I hope this will help you if you try to measure a wheel and figure out what its backspacing is. It's from this surface to the inside lip here. So make your measurement, just take off 3/8 for how thick this is, or if you got some real fancy lightweight one, take off 1/4. And that will tell you how big it is, how much the backspacing is. You can measure the offset to the front as well in the same fashion, but you're measuring from this surface, even if you're going to the front. So you'd stick your tape measure through the front, but the surface you're using is the back of the hub to measure. So that would hook on the back of the hub here. I don't know if you can see that, but, and I would measure to the front edge. But if you know what the back offset is, you know what the front offset is, right? It's just the opposite. If this is a 4 inch backspace, I know it's 6 inches to the front. It's a 10 inch rim, 4 and 6 is 10. So I hope I didn't confuse you, but just measure the backspace. Just remember that. If you take nothing else away, measure the backspacing. There. Across my rim. Not on the lip that sticks way out. That's a really tall portion, this lip down here. Right on the rim itself. Right to the mounting surface. That's my backspace. That's my backspacing. That's what I'm looking for. That's what most people are looking for when they're trying to space the tire into the rig. They're looking for the backspacing, and that's how it's measured. So get out there, work on your stuff. If you got some 20-inch really cool looking wheels, I don't care how wide the rim is really. I'd like a 9. You really don't have to get much wider than that. So 9 would be great, but I want the back spacing to be 5 inches. So if this was a 9 inch rim and my back space was 5 inches, my offset would be positive 1 inch. It's going to set these tires in further. That's what I'm looking for. All right, back spacing. You guys get out there.